share them. We were watching that interview here from the studio, and I was like, I really want to know. And then it was a rug pulled from us. Well, in any case, we're here in the studio to check out Dwarf Fortress, and we have Tarn in the studio with us. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going so far? How's your Gamescom week been?
Well, it's been a long and trying week, but I've met a lot of people, and I've had a great time showing the game and talking to fans for many, many hours.
Oh, I love
wonderful.
The fact that you're still standing, you still got a lovely smile on your face, is a big feat, so you should feel very proud.
I am. One more day.
One more day. We can do this.
Yes, yes.
So, to people who are watching at home who somehow haven't heard of Dwarf Fortress, could you give us a brief overview?
Yeah, Dwarf Fortress is a settlement management game where you have a group of dwarves digging into the side of a mountain, and the typical dwarfy things ensue. You make treasure, you run into goblin trouble, magma trouble, even water trouble, and eventually you die. And the legend continues because the game really aspires to be a fantasy world simulator. You can continue the history of your world after your first game is over, and before you start, looks like we may be seeing that here. The world is generated with hundreds of years of history, and you just jump right in, and you get to see all of those characters, interact with them, yeah, it's a fairly intricate little critter.
Very intricate, and I'm so excited to check it out. I think we shouldn't waste any more time. Let's jump.
Create a new world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, let's do it. So there's like loads of opportunities to customize it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
this is the barest minimum amount of customization. If you click detailed mode down at the bottom,
that's not even the detail.
you don't. Yeah, you have to get through this little introduction first. You don't necessarily want to do that, but that's there's a little scroll bar over on the right hand side.
Just a little scroll bar, like just a little. If I look at that, like that's amazing.
My brain is melting in like
for
real
everyone
time.
who loves like to customize their own like world or setup. That's like.
But we don't need to do that. We can go back to basic options.
Yeah, we go back to the basic options. So what would you suggest now for a quick like?
Yeah, this is quick, so we'll just go with 100 years here. You can see that you could do 250 or 500,
Well,
and
you
that's
could even do just 5 years.
yeah, just 5. If you want to have a lot of mythological creatures running around, because what'll happen is you'll have like dragons and so forth in the world, and people like heroes that aren't you will take care of them over time, and so your world will become more of a sort of political world without like big monsters if you go into like 500 years, or the necromancers will take over, that kind of thing.
That's interesting. So we should just create our world.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Perfect.
And there's a lot of modding opportunities. It's loading everything in the game, even dwarves is just in a text file, and you can get rid of them if you want.
Wow.
Or there are a lot of really interesting mods. So it's running through the history now pretty quickly, but it's showing the sort of most important historical events that have happened, little snippets. But you can see the number there. There's actually been 50,000 historical events so far.
Wow. So that's like loads of things to check out and read through. And
Yeah. And so there was a little over 14,000 historical figures by the time we finish that 100 years. So those are people that you'll be meeting as you play the game. The ones that are still alive, because some of them are passed on by now, and we can just kind of play now.
Play now.
So it has to save it, and yeah, I mean this is sort of the legacy text craft here from the old version, these save screens and stuff. But we'll get to the graphics soon enough.
What's like different from the old version then?
Yeah, I mean the main thing we did was add mouse support, add graphics for everything, and then we did some just basic kindnesses for people, because you used to have to set the labor that the dwarves could do, like farming or mining and so forth, from just a giant list and like select them one by one. But now they will do things automatically unless you want to customize.
Yeah.
And then you have the same amount of power you had before, but you don't have to touch it.
That's nice because it makes it way easier for people who might not know the game and just
Yeah.
starting out and playing it. So-
Yeah, a lot more approachable,
Yeah.
especially for people like me who are like very intimidated by this genre. But I'm so curious about, you know, like you mentioned, the sort of story generator, and like this world having so much rich history. That really appeals to me. But then some of the other elements.
And in
are
fact,
scary.
if you like, you could click Legends mode
Legends
first there,
First?
just to take a look at it. So this is the history you created. So we can look at these things. We could look at all of the different historical figures in the world. We could look at. So there's a dragon. There's all these things. Now, of course, there were about 10,000 of them. So there's.
There's a lot.
We just read all of them, right?
Yeah, but if you click on one, if you click
Yeah,
on
we-
just
we
one of them.
Like, I will do this in a random way, just
Yeah,
scroll a bit and then click on one. So
Yeah.
who do we
So
have here?
this is a forgotten beast that lives under the ground. It's a pterosaur with external ribs and a pair of fan-like antennae, and it squirms and fidgets. Its peach scales are large and set far apart, and beware its fire. So this is a weird creature that lives underground. And it looks like what it did is antagonized a few dwarven civilizations, including eating a cat in the year 48.
The level of detail is just so.
And a ram and a yak bull and a turkey gobbler. So it kind of skulks around the fortress eating livestock, it looks like.
Ah.
Kind of sounds like me, to be honest. Like, I'm hungover.
Yeah, so.
So there's like loads of things to explore. If you
Yeah.
want to go into detail, I feel like you could spend years on just going through
Yeah,
all the
without even
details.
playing the fort mode of the
Yeah.
game. And people use this for like their tabletop campaigns. They can
Oh, I can
generate
see
a
that.
world.
I
Yeah.
can see that because you can like have your own tabletop session.
Yeah,
That was so. I think we should press done,
done.
for
Yeah, should do
now.
it. Yep.
Was that something you always had in mind, is sort of like incorporating those kind of tabletop elements, or was that something that just kind of came out naturally?
I mean, actually supporting a community, using it for that purpose is not something that we had in mind, because people will use things for whatever their hobbies are, right? And we just are trying to be accommodating, and we try and keep our eyes out for what people
Yeah.
are doing. So I think should we skip the tutorial is always a big question. I think we should skip the tutorial so that we can
Because
look around the
we
map a
got
little
you
bit.
with us.
Yes,
You are the
exactly.
living tutorial.
It'll be fine. But there is a tutorial. We should let
Yeah.
people know. There's definitely a tutorial. So this is where you decide where your fortress is going to be in the world. So we have the entire
That's our map.
world here that we just created, and probably want to do it somewhere on the edge of the mountains.
Oh yeah, we have mountains right there and there and there.
And
Maybe right here.
Yeah.
be
That looks
smart.
like it's a wilderness, not too scary. Should be
Still
pretty
got
good.
trees. I
Yeah,
think
trees
that's
are
good.
important. Trees are
Yeah.
important because you can fuel the fires of industry. Your trees and irritate the elves when you cut them down. It's important.
So
So now this is the zoomed-in world map. You can see all the rivers and streams and scroll around a bit to try and
we
find
got
the
water as well.
exact. Yeah, water is important as well. So these are. It's really up to you where
So
you'd
we
like
should
to set
just
it.
embark.
Yeah, just click embark and it'll give you a little rectangle. This is precisely where your fortress will be.
So what's best? What
Yeah, I would
like
get some
maybe
trees. Get some
right here
trees
to
in
get
there,
some-
maybe if you can. Can you get some trees and up there, a little bit up and to the right? You can get to the right. You can get there. You go. You got
Yeah.
water. You
Water,
got trees. You got
trees, mountains. We
This
got
is a
everything
dwarf.
now.
Yeah, this is dwarfy.
I love this is dwarfy. Yeah, perfect.
Now we are in a situation where there's a light aquifer. It's warning us. So water will seep through the tunnels that we carve slowly, and we may have to wall it off to avoid flooding.
So
but
that
that's
makes
fine.
it a bit more difficult.
Yeah,
to
yeah. It's a small challenge.
Yeah.
And all of the areas pretty much.
But, yeah, but I feel like everywhere is gonna be
Oh, yes.
challenges.
Yes,
so-
yeah. So this will just inhibit us
We
from
can
digging down a
confirm,
bit.
right?
Yeah. No, we can go for it. Yeah. So we can ignore this. This is just the. No, you can prepare for your journey carefully. I wouldn't do it. It just lets you choose exactly which animals, items, and so forth you want to bring. It lets you choose precisely which skills your dwarves have and so forth. But ultimately, that's just some more time.
Play now.
Yeah, we can just click
Yeah.
play now. It gives you an okay setup. And here we are.
Oh, and now we have a way more level of detail.
Yeah. Yeah, this is...
Oh, and I can already see some animals. I love that.
Yeah. So the thing to get used to here is that we're seeing a slice, a horizontal slice of the map, and you use the mouse wheel to go up and down. So we're up in the treetops and then down into the earth. And there are about, I don't know, 150 of these slices. So you really make a vertical forward. But you can just think about it like Minecraft, the way that things are laid out. That,
Okay.
that it's still just cubes, basically. So you'll be able to...
Yeah, even cats. I love that.
They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got
Hopefully
cats, horses.
They don't get eaten by that.
No.
Yeah.
No, they tend to be pretty self-sufficient. You don't have to worry about your cats so much as your dwarves.
Oh.
So how should we start then?
Yeah, well, I think
What are the most important buildings that we should build, like right in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, basically what you're going to want to do is get your dwarves a place to rest, and that involves digging into the ground and then building beds for them, which will require a carpenter shop.
There's like dig a regular hallway.
Yeah. So the part of the difficulty of getting started in this game is this verticality. So I would start with just a staircase there.
Okay.
And then click one just anywhere around there, and then mouse wheel down. This is the tricky part. Under the earth, so that you're going down under the earth, and then click again, and then your dwarves will now dig. Here we go. They've dug a vertical.
And they are fast. I love that.
Yeah, it's nice and fast. No, we don't want to have realistic digging. These are dwarves. They can do things very quickly. And then, yeah, you can switch over to the regular mining tool. Yeah, you can make a hallway. You can start to think about shaping your rooms. You can leave a little space for a doorway, because you can make doors.
Oh, that's maybe right here then.
Yeah, and we'd want to. You could either build your carpenter's workshop above ground, or you can carve out a space for it down below ground.
So you mentioned that there might be water in our hallways at some point. So would it be safer to have our important buildings like on the ground, like maybe not under?
Well, the thing right now, when you've been digging, it hasn't shown the little water droplets that indicate that it's a damp hallway.
Oh, so
this
we
is
see
safe
that
right here.
This is safe. Yeah, we love that.
And then you go a little deeper, or perhaps even to a different part of the map, and you'll encounter the water.
I see. So maybe we just create a small room now.
Yeah, a little alcove here for the carpenter shop, maybe.
So where do we get the carpenter shop?
Well, the thing is, you need material to build the carpenter shop, and that means we're going to take some of these trees
so
to task
we have
here. So you have your...
again?
Yeah, so we have now our little... Yes, you found it. The set tree chopping orders. All you need to do is just drag a rectangle over some of these stumps. I would do the ones that are on the ground level, so they know where to go. So these ones on the right, you can see these little circles. That's a tree stump, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
I have to pick it again.
And there we go. It's got the little order on it. Here comes the dwarf. Yeah, just do a whole bunch of them. Yeah.
Some more.
And you'll see the tree fall. There it goes. Now we have lumber on the ground.
Ah, perfect.
And all of those logs can be used for not just to make the workshop, but to make the doors and beds that we're going to be using to keep our dwarves nice and happy.
So do we also need stone? Is that
you can use stone for a variety of purposes. Dwarves will be happier with stone furniture. So right now we're digging through the mud and the dirt. Like if you put your mouse right on the wall edge there, what does it say? Sandy clay loam wall. So kind of a gritty soil that sticks together a bit. And it's like a hobbit hole that isn't comfortable, which is just like
at some point we need
burrow.
Real walls,
yes,
right?
We're making a animal burrow for your dwarves, but you have to start somewhere.
That's true.
And these 7 dwarves that you start with care a little bit less about the things than the others that will be coming. You can have up to around 200 dwarves over time.
We got the bougie dwarves incoming.
Yeah, they are like, I want to live in a beautiful castle with beautiful floors and beautiful walls.
Yeah, in fact, if you go find a dwarf, right click to get out of this this mode, and then go find a dwarf and just click on them. So here's.
then we get more details.
Yeah, here's all the details of the dwarf.
69 years.
Yeah, they all are live longer than humans, so you can treat that more like a 30-year-old dwarf, or human rather. So they've been talking to their friends, feeling fond.
So we get like relations. Oh, there it is, like close friend.
Yeah, they build bonds on the journey over the first 7 that are at the wagon here. So they're already friends. Occasionally they will not be friends when they come over, but that's fine.
Fine. They spend a lot of time with each other. You know, you rub up against each other too much.
They have to sleep in the muddy room together. Maybe that's not that good for your relationship. That's fine. So yeah, there's even groups.
Yeah, so they belong to a civilization, but they also belong to this group of 7, which is. Because we didn't go through the prepare carefully, it decided to give us the Rags of Power, which is just a randomly generated name. But they also belong to the Doctrines of Turquoise, which is a religion that came up during World Generation. And if we went to Legends mode at a later point, we could figure out where that religion came from and who the prophets were, that kind of thing. But right now, it's just a little piece of information on this character sheet.
So then we got military to assign them to a squad and thoughts. I like that.
Yeah.
We can just check out what
We're starting to have our first problems, too. She was annoyed after having a drink without using a goblet, cup, or mug. So we'll just have to slowly solve these problems. You can't solve them all at first, but the thoughts gives you an idea of the kind of things that you need to do.
Maybe a smart way to figure out what they need and what they want.
Yeah, because the game has no really strong goals that it gives you, but you can find things to do just in the beginning, just getting these basic needs met, and then you can start making more ambitious goals for yourself.
I see. So there's a lot of things to explore, about the whole personality. The items, health, skills, rooms, and labor. But I think for now, I want to build a bit more.
Yeah, it's time to build. I just get to see that stuff a little bit.
I think this room isn't enough. So we need to check what else we can build here. So we could even build deeper into the ground now, or if there's anything that we should add. You mentioned we need a
we could start thinking about that workshop now. Yeah. So let's
where do you find it?
That would be right there.
Right there?
So various workshops. If we click on that,
wow.
Got some choices here, and there's some sub menus, of course.
Yeah.
But carpenter should be up at this top level. There it is.
This one?
Yep. And there's a carpenter's
workshop. That's huge. But it kind of fits perfectly.
Yeah.
So then we can put it right here. Is the access on the right side, or can they?
They can walk into any direction.
Perfect. That's nice. Cool. And now we can even customize it.
Yeah. Which color do you prefer? There's not much of a reason other than the color to choose which log.
I love purple and pink. Or
so
red.
the ginkgo looks pretty pink there. The ginkgo logs.
So we just select that.
So now someone should come by, and build your workshop.
There we go.
Very efficient.
Now it looks like nicer with the floor.
Yeah.
It looks even better than before. Love that.
And so, now that you've got a workshop, you can click on a workshop and set tasks for them.
Okay. So we still have to add tasks. Make bed.
Yep.
I think that would be nice.
Yeah, we'll need to make 7 of them eventually. Yeah.
Can we define how many of them we want to craft?
This is right now there's just a repeat system, but also there's the work orders system, which allows you to do things like that. So we can either dive into that, or we can just ignore it for now. This is totally
so
up
they're
to
just
you.
creating one right now.
Yeah,
but
right now you can see it. There's a peach wood bed. And if you click on that with the magnifying glass, it'll give you a little. It's an exceptional peach wood bed because our carpenter is a decent carpenter and made a nice
I love that.
peach wood bed.
So maybe we should just get more of these beds then.
Yeah, we could do that.
So they have a better time sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep is important.
Yep.
So how do I close like this? And then we add new tasks. I want to check real quick what else we can do. Wooden altar, animal trap, armor stand, barrel, bin, blocks, book.
Yeah, you've gotten all the way through the letter B, and we.
Yeah. So there's so much things like chairs. Wow, chests, doors. I want a door, and then we can add like beds. And you said we can like, I guess this is for repeating the
Yeah, and
task.
if you go to the work orders tab up there at the top, you'll need to make a manager, which you can do in a different screen. But then you can create them numerically if you want to make 6 beds, 7 beds.
Okay, so I add them right.
So first you need a manager. So you'd have to click on the crown down at the lower left, I believe.
Right there?
Yeah, so here's all the different positions, nobles and administrators in the fortress. Right now you just have the leader that took the expedition out in the wagon. But now that you're here, you can assign any of these positions, and more positions open up over time. And so we need a manager, so you can click the plus there and assign a manager. The expedition leader can take the job, and they actually have some relevant skill.
Yeah, because I already see no relevant skills. Not skilled enough.
No.
So we...
Yeah, so now you should be able to make work orders.
Okay. So now we close that again and go back into our workshop. Go to work orders.
And then we can
add something, right?
So there's make bed up at the top.
Bed.
And now it defaults to 10, but you can change it to anything you want.
Is it right there?
And this is where you set, see it says a one-time order. You can set conditions. You can make work orders linked to each other. You can make them repeat. You can make them monthly. You can make
such a level of detail.
Yeah, and you don't need to engage with any of this. If any of this looks intimidating, you literally don't need to do any of this.
I feel like it's nice because it's a game where you can just like play your own, have your own playthrough, and then like learn more. And there's always more to explore and to go deeper into it.
And
so
losing
I love
is
that.
fun. Like it's fun. Our motto is losing is fun because, like even if you're not engaging with all of the systems and eventually your dwarves, tragedy comes to pass. It's fun. It's fun to watch it all fall apart, and then you can continue on in the same world. And any dwarves that survived can come to your next fort.
Oh, that's nice.
So there's lots of payoff and continuing through instead of just reloading an old save, but you can also do that if you want.
I love that because it still feels like I love the idea of also failing, but not completely, because maybe you can save some of your dwarves and then build a completely new city, and I love that. And there's always to learn opportunities to learn more and get better at it by failing first.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel punishing, the fact that you can just kind of pick up where you left off and kind of cart everyone along is great.
Yeah,
and you don't lose the complete world.
Yeah.
And the things that are happening are being recorded in Legends mode right now, so you can go back and look at the history of your fort.
Yeah.
All of the important events that have happened.
So you can
all
even learn from that, right?
Yeah.
By checking out what exactly happened.
Yeah, some things that you might not have noticed as well that were, because once the game gets bigger, you're not going to notice everything. Yeah. And really, this is our goal is to make a sort of storytelling engine, like a co-author with the player. And so you can investigate those sheets that the dwarves have with their thoughts and things, and sort of find the stories that you're interested in the fortress without having to understand everything that's going on.
Oh, sounds great.
You can add doors.
I promised we would come to a couple of questions that we got in the chat. One of the first questions we got was, how did you feel sort of releasing this mammoth of a game into 1.0? Was it hard to push through that, or was it this kind of jubilant, triumphant feeling?
Well, before the release, we didn't have that feeling. It was 3 years, 3 years of work of a kind that I was not used to, right? Working with artists, working with the musicians, because this has a soundtrack. I don't know if people can hear it, but there's a whole soundtrack to this game, and that took a lot of getting used to. But now that we're here, it's great.
It's great. No, and honestly, it's so great to have you here acting as a sort of real-time tutorial, because, like I mentioned at the very beginning, this has always been a game that I've been so curious about. But hearing you explain, all of the different avenues for play, depending on my own play style, has made it all the more approachable. And I actually really can't wait to have a go myself when I get home back in London.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. It's just it's a nice little game.
Yeah.
So I was just checking out the farming part of it. So So we also have bees.
Beekeeping. We did a animal sponsorship drive back in 2008 where we let the players choose whatever animals they might want if they put in a donation, because we were a free game running on donations back then. And the bee was the top animal because our players are very mercenary about such things. They knew they'd be getting industry if they got bees, so we gave them beehives, wax, honey, and we spent about a month on it. So there's beekeeping in the game.
So I just placed a little farm right here.
So that's the farmer's workshop.
Oh, the farmer's workshop.
So this will be operating on products that you get from farms. So you'll need a farm plot.
Yeah, we should put that
first.
right next to it.
Now the thing with the farm plot though is you need seeds for it, and you're a dwarf. You don't have any above ground seeds right now. You can get them, but you'll be underground in the soil that you have there, and you can grow mushrooms.
Ooh, so we should put it like.
Yeah, you can put it right there if you like. A farm plot should be under the farming section.
Workshop, farming.
Farm plot.
Farm plot. Then just right here?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
And they don't have to do anything too complicated with it. They don't have to bring water. There used to be a system of like rivers flooding out, kind of like the Nile and so forth. But that was before we added this 3D up and down, and we just like, we can't do this anymore. So now we've got these simple farm plots. We'd like to get back to that at some point, but it's been many years, 13 years. So yes, we haven't gotten back to it yet. But if you click on the farm plot, you can set the types of things that you'd like to put there.
Oh, no, it's just on fallow.
So plump helmets are the nice edible mushrooms. That's the one you should focus on first.
Okay.
And there they go. They've put the spawn from the mushrooms. There they are, all planting.
Oh, they're doing this together.
And they can chat with each other while they're doing it.
So also like building on their relationships.
And there we are, a planted
Wait, was
field.
the cat helping as well?
The cat will wander around the fortress, visiting people that the cat likes, and also going to places where vermin can be found, because the cat will, for instance, hunt a mouse and then bring the mouse to a favorite person. And drop it.
Oh. So can we click on the animals as well? Do they have... Oh, we can even like figure out what they are thinking.
Very sad in the rain out here.
Detected when caught in the rain.
Very relatable.
And then we got a dog. She was annoyed when caught in the rain.
Yeah,
oh, no.
So this dog has more of that kind of personality. Like the horse will get depressed, but the dog will get angry.
So what about the cat?
Pestered by flies.
She was annoyed after being She was annoyed when caught in the rain.
Yep.
I'm so sorry for them. They could just live in...
Well, if you'd like, you can set click on the dwarf face that's a little bit to the right of the workshops there, and make a meeting area.
Oh, so this is how you can like tell them where.
Yeah, you can kind of define what all the spaces mean. You can make temples, libraries. You can make taverns and people will come and visit from the outside, and you can serve them, and so forth. You can make a little inn.
Maybe let's just put a small, where was it?
Yeah, just make the rectangle. You just click the rectangle and.
So there we have a meeting area.
Yep. And if you click accept.
How we can save them from the rain.
Yeah. Now here they are. Here they all are down here. Now the trick, and this is kind of one of the things that people discover over time, is now that you've brought everyone down to the meeting area, your horses are no longer on grass. So they will slowly starve to death.
Oh.
And so you'll need to create a pasture.
No.
Now, if you want the horses to not get rained on in the pasture, you can build a little ceiling over it if you want.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's super handy.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we're approaching the time where we say goodbye, which I'm not ready to do.
No.
There's so many other things,
Yeah.
so many, like millions of other things I'm sure we could have dig deep into. That wasn't intentional, I promise. Well, where can people sort of find more information, get more involved in anything?
Yeah, so Dwarf Fortress is up on Steam and itch. We have the Kitfox is our publisher. Kitfox has a Discord where people can come and ask questions. Very useful because you're probably going to want to ask questions.
Yep.
We also have our own forum at bay12games.com. That's another place if that kind of format is more comfortable to you. So yeah, plenty of places for people to go and check out the game.
Perfect. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Tarn. That was fantastic.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. I want to play more of it.
I know. It's probably something we'll do like during the big break, I think. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're going to be back with more games, more interviews, all that fun stuff right after this very short break.